So we have a winner for the 40th anniversary campaign, and to literally no one's surprise, it's a complete shit show in the comments of Tamashi's social media pages. There's a lot to discuss here, so let's break it down and then I'll give you my thoughts. So if you've been living under a rock for the past few months, Tamashii Nations just recently wrapped up a reissue campaign for Dragon Ball's 40th anniversary. We had over 100 figures to choose from for our top 3 picks, and at the end of the campaign, the most voted for figure would get the reissue. Well, it just so happened that the legendary Super Saiyan himself got the reissue, and while some people are excited, others are finding this suspicious, and it's almost certainly not a coincidence, right? Given Beast Deities and Demon Uncle Fitz Broly figures? Either way, by the time this video goes live, Broly should be up for pre-order on Premium Bandai with an ETA of November of 2025. Tamashii originally posted on Instagram that it would be released by September of 2025, but they have since issued a correction. The only difference between it and the original will be the 40th anniversary stand, and he's going to retail for $90 USD, which is $25-ish more than what he went for back in 2014, which, when you account for inflation, is pretty close, roughly $87. They're just charging us $3 more for the anniversary stand. Okay, let's talk about it. A lot of folks have been raking Tamashii over the coals for this one, especially with the now defunct Beast Deities and their Broly figures, as well as Demoniacal Fit's legendary Berserker just now hitting the market. A lot of folks are seeing this as Tamashii being lazy because it's the same mold from 10 years ago, and it's certainly looking like an easy cash grab. And there certainly is merit behind those thoughts. But with that said, I would love for someone to point out to me where it said in the campaign that whatever figure won would be getting released as a 3.0. Now, if y'all couldn't understand that, then y'all must be Yu-Gi-Oh players and you need to learn to RTFC. I would know because I'm also a Yu-Gi-Oh player guilty of needing to RTFC. Also, some of y'all were out here voting for 1.0 Perfect Cell. Bruh, ain't no way that was in the top 3. And if that had won, ooh! And for the record, I'm not defending Tamashii or Bandai as a whole. Tamashii has been doing a horrible job of reading the room when it comes to their fanbase as of late. The Frieza Saga figures have been nice, but a lot of folks have wanted these specific characters like Broly and Bojack Trunks for quite some time. But here we are fixing to get old style Battleclothes Vegeta and Transform Zarbon, which, I'll be real with y'all, I legit wanted that form of Zarbon. But that particular Vegeta, kind of hit or miss for me. But he'll have a place in my collection alright. The head sculpt on another Vegeta, and the body in the trash. But this is all because we have someone like Motto Ottomoto as the product planner, who has gone on record as being 100% all in for the Namek Saga, and has allowed third-party companies like the artist formerly known as Beast Deities, Tonson Toys, and Demon Uncle Fit to run wild. For more context, I'll play this clip from one of Rockchala's streams, where he and his fellow content creators 86 Reviews, Burst ZG, Ace aka Animated Heroes, and a few others had OB on as a special guest. OB, who I believe works for Tamashii as a promotional manager, had this to say.
I will say one thing that's definitely allowed Bootlegs to go crazy is the fact that the head of the line, Motto Ottomoto, has blatantly said that he's all in on Namek. So for people who don't know, the people in charge of lines change every few years, and he's done a great job of really expanding out the line and doing a whole bunch of cool things. But he's been doing it for about 3-4 years now, so he's kind of at the end of his tenure. And so he's just on a mad rush to cram in every Namek figure he can before they put somebody else in charge.
Personally, I think this Broly is going to be perfect for the purist at heart. You know, the ones that have to have the Tamashii seal of quality on their boxes. Plus, this thing is a piece of history. And before someone comments, it belongs in a museum. Okay, Andy. And who are we to shame someone for their vote?
But didn't you just criticize people for voting for Cell?
Shush! 1.0 Cell does not get a pass. And yes, when it comes to arguing about which release is better, Demoniacal Fit's legendary Berserker is technically the same figure, but has updated faceplates and they made the harder plastics of the waist wrap softer for their release, so they are not as brittle or hard as the original, which is something I've talked about in my review of the OG. And the legendary Berserker originally retailed for $59.99 USD on 5K Toys before it instantly sold out. Now you can't even find the post on their Instagram page. So I can definitely see the allure of that release even if people are experiencing QC issues. But wait! Who's that? It's Cooler with a steel chair out of nowhere! Apparently Cooler was our runner-up, despite the polling, and I quote, being so close. We will have more info coming in February, and I would expect Cooler to probably retail for about $90 as well. But this is where the conspiracies start creeping their ugly heads a little more. In that same live stream, Obi mentioned that he knew the results right after the polls closed, and he stated that first place won by a landslide. And the organizer of the campaign almost didn't give the people what they wanted. They had to tell him, nope, you're going to give the people what they want. I'll show the clip right here.
I will just type in. I gotta stop talking about work. That'll be announced on the 24th of January.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
So the countdown.
Also, I obviously know what won. It was a it was a
Please.
landslide. It was
It
an
was,
absolute-
ooh, it
Oh,
was a
please.
landslide.
However,
Praying.
again, I shouldn't be talking about this. So the guy in charge, he was like, "It's gonna be this one. I know it's gonna be this one." And he actually
No.
started like checking the old the molds for it and getting it ready to make sure it was workable. And then we got the results, and it wasn't the one he thought it was. and he was like, "Screw it, no, I'm just gonna do the one I wanted to." And his boss was like, "No, you can't take a vote and not honor the vote. And go find the other mold. We're doing the one that got number 1." And he was like,
Damn it.
But yeah, if you want to check out the stream that I've been referencing from Rockchala, I'll leave the link for it in the description down below, as well as the timestamps of where I'm getting this information from. But I do recommend listening to it all the way through, as there's some pretty good information. Putting my tinfoil hat back on, why are we releasing 2 Tamashii? Maybe you're not expecting Broly to go over well with there being effectively 5 Brolys on the market in 1 year? Or is it because the campaign planner threw in the figure he wanted to win? Lots of questions for sure. But Tamashii, come here. Let's sit down. Let's have a talk. While I and probably many others have been grateful we've gotten so many Namek Saga figures during Motto Ottomoto's tenure, it's time to pass the torch to someone who's willing to listen to the fanbase and give them what they want. We've been wanting Janemba, Kid Buu, Bo-Jacked Trunks, Super Saiyan Gogeta, an updated Broly, or in my case, a suppressed Z Broly. The list goes on, and while that list continues to grow, the third-party folks are doing laps around you and making the money that you could be making. Yes, you've mentioned that the Chinese government is very cooperative when you do your raids and shut down folks like Beast Deities, but they've already sprung back up as Mythos Anime. But releasing Broly again echoes what I said in my Broly review. You don't like it when there's money to be made and you're not capitalizing on it. And this feels like one of those moments, especially when the community sees that Beast Deities effectively forced Demon Aquafit to push out their Broly that was in development for quite some time, and now you're pushing your mold out for the 4th time. And I could be completely wrong, but what I do know is y'all are the kings of your craft. In the past, you have shown us that you can one-up the third-party companies and deliver a solid release. Biases aside, this Broly is a solid figure even for its age no matter what people say. However, we know you've got something better cooking. At least, we hope so. Motto Okamoto, I mean no disrespect to you or your tenure at Tamashii Nations, as you have delivered figures that we probably would have never seen like Kui, and your work on the legendary Super Saiyan Goku is quite literally legendary. We know your time as the product planner is coming to an end, and we hope your successor can deliver. If anything can be learned from these last 2 campaigns, it's that reissue campaigns should be more commonly practiced, and the data that is collected from those campaigns is used to influence the next 3.0. Those are just my thoughts. Real quick before I close out the video, Tamashii has just released more information on Stardust Dragon. Pre-orders are going live starting February 3rd with a projected release date of June of 2025. He will be retailing for roughly 15,000 yen, or roughly 145 USD, and he will be coming with a support stand and his shooting sonic effect piece. Me personally, I'm excited for this figure, even if 5Ds is 3rd on my Yu-Gi-Oh tier list. It's still nostalgic to me. And also, viewer, if you're still listening, do not sleep on this line. Yes, it's a bit pricey, but God bless, these are some of the best figures I've had the pleasure to own. I still have Red Eyes and Elemental Hero Flying Wingman that I need to review, but they truly are quality figures, and you can tell Tamashii has invested heavily into these. But that's going to do it for the news. I want to thank you, the viewer, for making it to the end. If you haven't already, kindly hit the like button and subscribe, as it helps me out and keeps the channel growing. Plus, I've got other videos up and more to come. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on release campaigns as a whole and how you feel about Broly and Cooler getting reissued. I do apologize for the tinfoil rant about Broly, but there was quite a bit to say, and I definitely feel like I had a piece to say considering that Broly is my favorite character. But anywho, I would love to hear your thoughts on it all. As always, this has been Elite Reviews, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.